and festival booking patterns. That's true. So influence isn't only about copying style, it's also about opening doors. I want you to remember this. It's also about opening doors. And you know why, too? Let me tell you how I know you know this, gentlemen and ladies. Let me tell you how I know you know this. What you guys all let's see, every 5 months, Julia, or 4.5? No, let me give them 5.5. Every 5.5 months, a new argument come up. Who boss who? In other words, who opened the door for who? So you guys know it's significant. But you just don't. What you listen to me? I tell you now, if you're gonna deal with me, we're gonna put the cards on the table. We're gonna deal with truth. It can't go one way one time and don't go another way another time. Okay? If opening doors matters, then opening doors matters across the board. So he had influence there. He didn't open doors himself, like introduce anybody, bring anybody with him, and stuff like that. And that is to his criticism in a lot of ways, right? A lot of people don't like that he didn't open doors that way by pushing artists. But there's more than one ways to open a door, right? In business, you know this too. Sometimes opening doors is the way you represent your culture. So people will be like, you know what? I've worked with a Jamaican lady before and she was awesome. I'm going to give this Jamaican company a chance. When before, they just go off a hearsay. But now they have the experience with this wonderful Jamaican business owner. On time, more than on time, above and beyond. So now that open up their mind to say, you know what? No, Jamaican people, they're good, man. They're just like regular people. Don't listen to the foolishness that you hear around the place. You can open doors in different ways. There's not one way to open doors. No, there's one way probably to boss somebody, yeah, and be like a immediate influence. But there are more than one ways to open doors. Okay, good. Next, he was a diaspora multiplier. Go back to the first live when I was talking about the diaspora. See, there was method in my madness. There's a reason I talked about the diaspora, right? His influence created space for Jamaican music in clubs, radios, and charts. Not him alone, but they did it, right? Longevity of the global reach, we can't go around it. Multiple pop eras, he has lasted across them, right? Now, Cartel's influence. Artist to artist imitation. This is the strongest signal of influence. Let me tell you why. And you guys know this. Because guess what? You always say that, well, imitation is the best form of flattery. It's true. People might not like you, and then don't like that they like you. Trust me. This is something I know. I live every day. People like you and don't like the fact that they like you. So they convince themselves that they don't like you. When actually they like you. But they're fans. And they become haters. 1 second. Let me drink. Right? So people will people will like you and imitate you and pretend like them never hear you say it, or they never get it from you, or it's not you spark the idea. But it's okay. You can do a world of good if you don't care who gets the credit. But these are facts, right? Artist to artist imitation. This is the strongest signal of influence. Why? Because you affect the person's mind and the way and change the way they're gonna do things and how they do it. Right? Right. And as an artist, especially in our culture too, the way we grow up with people don't want to follow people and say about follow fashion monkey or all type of something, right? You guys know what I'm talking about. But yeah. So when somebody imitates you, it is a very, very high compliment. So don't get offended. Anyway, new and emerging dancehall artists often write, phrase, and think more like how Cartel write and think. His cadence, wordplay, irony, and clash mentality, they are actively replicated. They are. Whenever influence causes imitation of craft, it runs deep. Pardon me. Cartel didn't just inspire listeners. he also inspired creators. This is important. It's fine to inspire your audience, but when other creators start getting inspired by you, whoo, you touch a nerve there. These are facts. That's across every industry, right? That's across every industry. And I want you guys to think about what I'm saying. Think about it. I don't want you to just take it because I said it. Think about it. When you inspire your audience, that's great. But when other creators are inspired by you, okay, that means it's a different standard. Now, Cartel also influenced adoption. Sorry, right? Why? How his dominance is expressed lyrically. He's a lyrical. Listen, we're gonna go into it. How artists positions intelligence inside of street music. He influenced that. Even artists who don't sound like him often think through his framework. That's influence on the ideological level. That's deep. Right? Now, look at this. He had that type of influence without infrastructure. Remember, it's internal. Cartel's influence spread. How? Without heavy touring. Can you imagine if he had the heavy touring? Without sustained music, mainstream radio. Right? Without award show cycles. Yet, artists still cite, echo, and adapt his style. Influence that survives without amplification is organic power. This is important, and I'm going to say it again. Fire Nation. Influence that survives without it being amplified, without it having the power behind it, the push behind it, without it having the reach to help it survive, that is organic power. Again, influence that survives without amplification. What did I tell you? Didn't I tell you that reach is an amplification? That is organic power. If your thing is good, your substance is good, like Sean Paul, and you couple that with amplification, you couple that with reach, it will quadruple, quintuple everything because it has substance. So it would be good on its own, but now it's spread to other people, and those people spread it, and those people spread it. So that reach helps is an amplification. So that can help something survive. Now, if you have influence that survive without that backing, and it survive off of its own strength, its own initial strength, with people liking it and sharing it, and liking it and sharing it, and liking it and keep playing it, that's great. But it wasn't reach, whereas that is multiplied. That is organic power. You can't go around it. These are facts. It's the same everywhere. Now, internal cultural gravity. I was just talking to you about it. Right? He's often the reference point. He is. He really is. He often is the reference point. You know what's funny? Well, I'll go into that after. Anyhow, he influences what matters inside the culture, not just what sells. This is influence at the source, where styles are born. Remember, I said the source, dancehall, internally. Remember, I talk about also the diaspora. I want you to start thinking about it like a tree with roots and branches. Okay? Good. They represent both these men. Why the debate still exists. And even though I love to hear, the arguments back and forth. Oh, it's 4:44. It's a good sign I saw that. Right? Why the debates exist, the real reason, they represent two different types of influence. Sean Paul has access influence. affects who believes that they can try. And a lot of people follow his blueprint. He lights the fire around the world. Cartel has creative influence. He affects how artists create, and he lights his fires inside of the culture. There are two different types of influence. Fire Nation, both ignite fire, just in different terrains. Okay? One lights the fire inside the culture, the other spreads sparks outside of it. Which is more influence? It depends on where you're standing, depends on how you look at things. But it's two different types of influence. That's why the comparison falls apart. They're not the same type of artist. Completely different. I don't. You couldn't even you couldn't even choose two more opposite dancehall artists. Well, maybe you could have choose maybe Mavada and Sean Paul, but than than them. And you want come? I tell you, but it's good though. It's good. Iron sharpen iron, and I love to listen to you guys talk when I'm working. All right.